Hey, this is Dan York from Voxeo, and I want to show you our VoiceObjects On-Demand service that we're announcing today at SpeechTech in August 2010. So first up, VoiceObjects is a tool we've had around for a while. It provides a way to quickly and easily build multi-channel self-service apps, what we call unified self-service. The idea you could build an application once and have it communicate with your customers via voice, like in a typical IVR, via SMS, via instant messaging, Twitter, mobile web, smartphone apps, all of that through one application development environment, one set of logs, one set of analytics, all of that in a whole lifecycle development suite. So the great thing about VoiceObjects is it makes it simple and easy to go and develop complex apps very rapidly. The challenge has always been, in order to use VO and get the power that it has, you've had to have your own VoiceObjects server. You've had to have it on your network, a data center somewhere. It's been a barrier for some folks to get involved with building multi-channel applications using VoiceObjects. What we've done with our new VoiceObjects On-Demand service is take away that friction, eliminate it. What we're allowing you to do is you can use VoiceObjects locally, develop your application, and deploy it directly up into our real-time optimized cloud. Let me show you what it looks like. Here we are in VoiceObjects desktop for Eclipse using the industry standard Eclipse development environment. And this is operating in standalone mode. It's got a demo we call Prime Insurance. It's right here. I'm going to switch it in my preferences. I'm going to come in here to VoiceObjects and I'm going to say work in with VoiceObjects On Demand. I'm going to enter in my user ID and password for Voxeo's Evolution Developer Portal. And once I hit test connection here, it should come back saying, yep, successfully connected. And now I'm going to hit OK. What you'll notice is up here it changes to show you a sample project called Guess My Number. Now I also have some other test ones, but this project is here. I'm going to open it up using version 1.0. When I double click it, I'll see I've got components. I could find a module. I'm going to double click the module and I'll see all sorts of goodness over here about what is the components, the objects that make up this application. So I'm going to do all this. I'm going to want to deploy this right away. I'm just going to take it in its default form. I'm going to say deploy the application up to my server, the VoiceObjects On Demand server, and it's going ahead and deploying that so that I could be able to go and call this and work with it right now. So down here it says Phono. It says click here to call using Phono. Now Phono is a new flash soft phone we're going to show you, and I could also click on this to call it via Skype. So I'm going to click on this. It's going to pop me into my web browser, pop up this little flash phone, and I'm going to call it.
I've selected a number between 1 and 30. Try to guess it in as few turns as possible. Pick a number.
15.
You're too high.
10.
You're too high.
5.
You're too low. Try a little higher.
7.
What was that?
7.
You're too high.
6.
Bullseye. You found it. Thanks for playing.
So
Goodbye.
That's the quick little sample application that we've created. Now you'll notice that it said at the end, it said bullseye was what it was saying, and I didn't really like that. So I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to go into the sample application and I'm going to go and I'm going to change it so that instead of saying bullseye, I'm going to say you are correct. So I'm going to make that change. I'm going to save it. Then I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to control click or right click that and say deploy the application again. I could have also hit this redeploy button down here, and this will go and deploy the application back out there with this change. So let's give it a try again and see how this works and if it takes effect. So it's now loading the Phono flash phone in. I'm going to call it.
I've selected a number between 1 and 30. Try to guess it in as few turns as possible. Pick a number.
15.
You're too low. Try a little higher.
20.
You're too high.
18.
You're too high.
17.
You were correct. You found it.
So there you go.
Thanks
you
for
can see
playing.
that I had the "you are correct" and it found it. So it was right there. So I made that change. I redeployed. All this without operating my own VoiceObjects server. It's all out there in the cloud. It's all very simple and easy to use. Now, this was with a phono connection or a Skype connection. I'm going to flip to the Evolution Developer Portal where I've logged in, and I'm going to go and look at my applications. And I have a sample application here. And if I go into it, you'll see that it's set up for voice or for SMS. I'm going to click on this little tab called Contact Methods, and right now it just has the connection in via Skype or via SIP, other different ways. I want to add a phone number. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to add a phone number in, oh sure, Pittsburgh, I guess, since I just chose that one. And now it's gone and it's created a phone number in the Pittsburgh area in Pennsylvania here in the United States, and I can now call into that application, or I could SMS into that application and interact with the application the same way. Now, going on down here a little bit further, you can see that I have instant messaging networks, so I can connect in with Jabber or with AOL or Google Talk, MSN, Yahoo. So I could be able to set these up. So right here, I can be able to have SMS or instant messaging networks that are connecting into that same application that's being driven by VoiceObjects in the back end. I'm going to flip back to VoiceObjects just for one moment to come back to my repos here. I'm going to go and I want to create a new project. I'm going to say VoiceObjects. Oops, sorry. I'm going to come over here to File, New, and say VoiceObjects Project. And I'm going to give it a name, Hello World. Okay, and I'm just going to create that. All right, and it's going to spin for a moment. He says as it goes on there. Great. So there's Hello World. I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to double click on it. There's nothing in it. So I'm going to come over here to the components on the right side. I'm going to double click Module. I'm going to give it a name. Hello World. Okay. And I'm going to give it a welcome message. I'm just going to say, hello, this is a VoiceObjects application. Highly exciting stuff, I realize. Okay, so now I'm going to go and I've got that. Now I want to deploy it out to my cloud. I'm going to go here and I'm going to deploy it to a new service. I'm going to call it Hello World. Okay, and so it's going to spin and it's contacting my VO server up in the cloud, and it's setting up a new service, mapping phone numbers to it, and setting that all up so it can be able to be used. And there we go. And so now it says I can call it with phono doing this. And so let's call it and see how it sounds. And here we go. Let's see what happens.
Subjects application.
Oh, well, so there, it got the end of my prompt. I probably need to give it a little space or something like that. But that was the basic idea. I deployed it, I created this, and I went out there. If I go back and look at my evolution page, I will now see here that in my applications, I have a Hello World, which I can go in, and again, I could add on an SMS number, or IM, or anything else. So that's really all there is to it. This is VoiceObjects on Demand. You can see that I can create this here inside of Eclipse to go and create my application, work with it. And to get started, all you need to do is go to www.voxeo.com/vo-on-demand. You'll see more information about it, and you can go and download the desktop for Eclipse version 10 for Windows or Mac, and you can get started right away. You'll need an Evolution account if you don't already have one, but once you have that, you can get going and you can try it out for yourself. So this is VoiceObjects on Demand. I hope this has been a helpful little introduction, and again, you can learn more at www.voxeo.com/vo-on-demand. Thank you for watching.